What's going on, guys? It's your boy Timmy. I'm sorry I've been gone for so long. Been dealing with school, like with midterms and finals. Now that school's over, you guys, I'm gonna be dropping a lot more content. And as you see on the screen right now, I'm showing the Celtics and Mavericks series, Game 1, the highlights from Game 1. I'm gonna be dropping another video after the series is over, giving my thoughts on the finals, and then eventually in another video giving my thoughts on the whole 2024 playoffs as a whole. But I never really gave you guys my predictions, so I thought I'd start off now. I know by the time this video uploads, Game 2 will be later on tonight. I still have the Mavericks in 7 games, and the reason why I have Dallas in 7 is for this reason. Although Boston has 2 guys in their backcourt who could slow down Kyrie and Luka, we've seen Luka, no matter who's guarding him, go for 30 plus, 35 plus, 40. We've seen him have virtuosos, and Kyrie's perfectly capable of bouncing back after that lackluster Game 1. And so Luka too. I'll give Luka. He had like a C plus game. He had 30 points, but it took him 26 shots. He shot under 50%, which is not too bad, but it's not really Luka-esque. He has 4 turnovers with only 1 assist. So I think he'll clean up his act if he plays tonight, because he downgraded from probable to questionable. So we'll see what happens. I think Kyrie will have a much better showing. And another reason why I feel like Dallas will win this series in 7 is because I feel like they have the better coach, and I feel like Jason Kidd, he has made a lot of adjustments throughout these playoffs whenever Dallas has faced adversity, whether it was in the Clippers series when it was 2-2, or when it was the OKC series when it was 2-2 as well. We've seen Jason Kidd respond at a very high level with his coaching. I just feel like he's the better coach. I feel like, and on top of that, like I said, although I feel like the Celtics backcourt and Jrue Holiday and Derek White, who have been playing sensational throughout these playoffs, especially on the defensive side, I feel like Luka and Kyrie are that great of a duo in terms of closing. They'll be able to get this job done, and they'll be able to close this series out. And I know people are going to be like, oh, Luka in a Game 7 in Boston, in that environment, Boston's probably not going to let that slip away. That may be true, but we've seen Luka score 35 points in a Game 7 at Phoenix. We've seen him score 20 points in the first quarter in an elimination game in a Game 5 at Minnesota. We've seen him put up these virtuoso historic performances before. So the moment doesn't faze him. And Luka's a player that I feel like we should not bet against. Because I bet against him against the Thunder series, and I bet against him in the Minnesota series, and look where Dallas is now. They're in the finals. With Boston, as much as I love Boston, and to me, I don't really have a dog in the fight. I don't really mind who wins this series, because both teams have players who I really like, especially Boston. Tatum is a player that I've grown to like a lot, and I've always, like, whenever I'm having these debates with my friends about Tatum, I'm always defending Tatum because he's accomplished a lot at his young age, and he's eliminated a lot of great players in this postseason run. He just doesn't have that championship to capitalize on. So the problem with Boston for me is that they take way too many threes. But to their credit, a lot of it goes in. I'm pretty sure they lead the league in 3-point attempts, makes, and percentage. So to their credit, it goes in. But look, as you can see at on the screen right now, the Boston Celtics went up by as much as 29. Yet this game got to, I think, an 8-point game or a 6-point game. That's because Dallas doesn't give up. Dallas doesn't give up. They keep fighting. Jason Kidd has taught this group to keep fighting and keep playing well. And Boston, those threes, when those shots aren't falling and you're not getting back on defense, and and the other team is attacking the paint at a high volume, they're gonna make runs to try to come back. So I just feel like if Luka doesn't play tonight, they'll probably go. Dallas is 9 times out of 10 probably going to go down 0-2, but that's okay. I mean, it's not okay, but they have the next 2 games at home. I believe that they'll protect home court. I know they haven't really protected home court all that great in the playoffs, but I still believe that they'll get it. They'll protect home court, especially in the finals. I still believe that Luka Doncic is probably the best player in this series, and although Boston probably has the deeper team, it's not by a lot. It's more than you. It's closer than you think. Dallas, if you look at Boston's roster, obviously they have Tatum and Brown, and then you have Drew Holiday and Derek White. And you have Porzingis, Al Horford, and then Sam Hauser. When he comes in, he makes winning plays. So that's 7 guys right there. That's 7 guys that you could count on consistently to make plays for them. And then when you look at Dallas, they have Luka, they have Kyrie, they have Derek Lively, Daniel Gafford, PJ Washington. If he gets any minutes, Tim Hardaway Jr., he can. I don't know why he hasn't gotten any minutes these playoffs, but I feel like he's a nice spark plug off the bench. He could knock down timely shots. We've seen him do that in the playoffs in the past. I've always liked Jaden Hardy. I wish he can get more minutes. He had a few flashes in game 1. I would like to see him get some more minutes. Derrick Jones Jr. That's just 8 guys I named right there. So in terms of which team is deeper, Dallas pretty much matches Boston. It's just that Boston's starting 5 just clears Dallas's, and I think that's why people get into the idea that because their starting 5 is just better, that they're just the automatic deeper team. Not necessarily. I feel like the coach in Dallas is better than the coach in Boston. That's just me. And another thing that's not really talked about is how Jason Kidd has brought this team into playing defense at a very high level. This team has played defense at a very high level, and the one thing that they've always missed, this team, was somebody to crash the boards. Now they have 2 guys. They brought in 2 guys this season via the draft and trade deadline, in Derek Lively and Daniel Gafford. Luka's always been able to get rebounds, but he's the only one. So, and he doesn't really stay in the paint and try to box out and crash like that. So that they finally got 2 bigs to crash the boards, and that's exactly what they needed. They needed interior presence. And Derrick Jones Jr. he fights, he hustles, he scraps. He plays hard. And I didn't even mention Josh Green. He's a nice little 3-and-D guy. So, and then Maxi Kleber, he's a vet. I don't know if he gets as many minutes as he did in the past, but he could hit timely shots when brought into the game. So Dallas could pretty much match up with Boston just as much as Boston can match up with them. And I just feel like if the game gets close in the 4th quarter, based off what I've seen in these playoffs, I trust Dallas more in these crucial situations more than I trust Boston. So, and Boston hasn't really been battle tested these playoffs, and it's not their fault, I know, but literally every series, the best player, if not the second best player from every series, has gotten hurt. And it might happen tonight if Luka doesn't play tonight. That's another break, and it's not their fault. You only get to play who you play. But I'm just saying they haven't really been battle tested. So we're going to see what happens tonight in game 2. I believe if Luka plays, Dallas will bounce back and win and tie this series up, going back to Dallas. We'll see what happens. And I still have the Mavericks in 7. I'm still standing by on that pick. I'm not backing off of that pick. And a quick side note before this, I end off this video. I just wanted to say that this series gives me glimpses of the 2012 finals. A young star who many consider the face of the league or will be the best player in the NBA in Luka Doncic. He reminds me of the LeBron in 2012, versus a player who's gifted, who's a very extremely gifted scorer, has gone deep because his team consistently deep in the playoffs, but just has never gone over that hump, trying to get his first ring in Tatum, which reminds me of Kevin Durant. LeBron and KD, they were both trying to get their first ring. I feel like this is what's happening here. So we're gonna see what happens with this series. Like I said, I'll be dropping more content, more videos throughout the summer. And it's your boy Timmy, and I'm out.